I am going to finish this portion of our time here. I encourage you to stick around and talk to some people around the room. And I also am excited because the fourth grade classes who are not able to be here today are going to be able to watch at least some of this video, because there was a last minute shuffle to try to get some fourth grade classes here and it just didn't work. So we're starting that process with a little bit of Indigenous education, and we'll push to make it a more established curriculum. So thanks. This is a proclamation that we established just a little while ago, and my co-commissioner, Dan Gibbs, is here with us as well. So I'm going to read this, and I'm going to have to change a couple words after listening to Ernest. But we can do that, can't we, Dan? And then I invite you also, if you're interested in this effort to change the name of the Gore Range, there is a couple paragraphs on a sign-up sheet, and you can sign your name as beginning this effort to change the name. If you would like to do that, there are also copies of this resolution that we will do some minor wordsmithing on. So this is a resolution supporting the Gore Range name change. Whereas early names on hand-drawn maps of geographic features in Colorado were commonly early explorers' names, and many of those names are still in place today. And whereas the USGS was established in 1879 and naming criteria was established by the USGS Board of Geographic Names in 1890, and whereas inappropriate names have been slowly changing over time in order to reflect our values in these carefully crafted criteria, and whereas the names of geographic features in the United States are a valuable reflection of the history of our country and its changing face. And whereas the names of geographic features in the United States are a valuable, I just read that. Whereas the first documentation of the attribution of the name Gore for our beautiful mountain range in Summit and Eagle counties is noted on a conversation atop Long's Peak when William Byers pointed to the range and described to John Wesley Powell, that is Gore's Range. And whereas the native Ute people relied on Rocky Mountain wildlife for their sustenance, and Lord Gore's massacre of thousands of buffalo, elk, deer, and bear, and other wildlife left to waste is the antithesis of our stewardship values. And whereas the 1850s were a very, very different time, but even then, the mountain men, Native Americans, and the U.S. cavalry who helped guide him were finally disgusted by his killing spree of wastefulness, leaving all these animals to waste while local indigenous peoples depended on these animals for survival. And whereas Lord Gore never stepped foot into the Gore Range, and the USGS criteria for naming includes a requirement that a feature named after a person requires that that person has resided in the community and has contributed significantly to the betterment of that community. And whereas the Ute people lived in this geographic area for approximately 10,000 years, approximately, before being removed from the Shining Mountains to reservations in Utah and Colorado in 1880, following the Meeker incident and the passing of the Ute Removal Act, denying the Ute the 12 million acres of land that had formerly been guaranteed to them in perpetuity. Whereas the Shining Mountain Range is a native Ute name for Rocky Mountains in a generic sense, and whereas the Shining Mountain Range is not an official USGS name in use anywhere in the Rocky Mountains today, whereas the Shining Mountain Range is our best suggestion for replacement name so far, but we are open to other suggestions from the Ute tribal leadership. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Summit, State of Colorado, that we urge the USGS to support the change of the name of the Gore Range to reflect the values of environmental stewardship and the criteria of the USGS for naming. including having resided in the area and having contributed significantly to the betterment of the communities. So, so if you support that, we'd be happy to have you sign on, and we will continue this effort. And Joni has the sign-on sheet back there. We will continue this effort, and Ernest is helping us get organized to talk with all the Ute members that we need to talk with to determine if Shining Mountains is the appropriate name or if there's another name that they would like to see us use. So with that, please have some fry bread, some tea, look around and talk with people here, and thank you all so much for being here.